walk through a report that we built for private equity firms in particular because this uses a tool called iLEVEL. iLEVEL is a pretty common industry solution that really helps private equity firms consolidate data from many of their portfolio companies. One of the big challenges is consistently getting those key metrics from portfolio companies and piping those up to the private equity firm level for your monthly and quarterly financial review packs. What iLEVEL does is come in and really automate that process flow. One of the challenges that we found, however, is that the solution is not particularly good from a reporting perspective. It gives you access to a lot of the metrics. You can see performance for maybe one portfolio company at a time across those metrics, but it can be much more challenging to actually get a view of your entire portfolio at the same time. So what we did with this private equity company, Pinnacle is just a placeholder in this case, representing any number of other firms that we've built this solution for, is to take actually the API connection to iLEVEL, pull all of that data into an Azure Data Lake, and then build this Power BI reporting suite on top of that pipeline and underlying data model. What this allowed us to do is for any number of different financial slices, we could subsequently get in and show what performance looked like across the entire portfolio. So let's take this first page that we're looking at. So this is the income statement page. At the top, you can see a lot of those really important metrics: revenue, EBITDA, EBITDA margin percent, cash add-backs, cash add-back percentages, etc. This income statement view. Let's say I just want to see revenue across all of these dimensions in the detail table below. So we have total, variance dollars, various percentage. So looking at income statement, if I want to drill into one of these areas, right now we're on revenue, so you can see that's the metric that we're looking at across these various views. If I want to go in and select EBITDA, now everything else updates, so I can see what EBITDA looks like across my various funds, and then within those funds over here on the right, what it looks like according to the actual component portfolio companies in those funds. Getting a lot of great detailed information over here about actual budget and then variance, as well as some time intelligence, so I can see how we were performing against the prior year. Can continue to see that functionality across each of these tabs. So maybe I want to go in and see EBITDA margin percentage, cash add-backs, etc. Really gives you a nice single landing page. If you're the CFO of a private equity firm, you can come here and get a very fast understanding of how the entire portfolio is performing. Of course, we know that it doesn't stop there. Oftentimes you need to filter according to different time frames, maybe for the investment committee or actually going back to talk to your management team at a portfolio company. And there are any number of other views in this set of reports where if you wanted to drill into balance sheet, a lot of those same functionality features still exist here. So if I wanted to filter according to different tiles across the entire view, I can do that. What we like here is that we're keeping the same look and feel so that as maybe folks throughout the firm are engaging in these reports who maybe are not as accustomed to working with Power BI and the filter capabilities, they're getting a really similar user experience. So income statement, balance sheet, and we're looking at cash flow here. Continuing to drill down, a lot of times what we'll do as we develop these reports is start with these summary level views where you get a lot of information in one particular view. But then subsequently, I can go down and actually just start looking at those details. So in this particular framework, we have it set up maybe a more traditional, a tabular format. So someone can come in, look at the last 12 months, actually look at these line items, go through and maybe export this to Excel. As much as we have these beautiful visualizations, a lot of times that is a really key feature and functionality for these reports. And of course, in this view, you can actually filter through and get this specific to any portfolio company in the firm. Click through a couple more of these detail pages. You can start to see that compared to those high-level, highly visual views, the cash flow detail tab, for example, really gives you maybe what people are more used to seeing in a finance setting. One last tab I'll click on here is EBITDA analysis. What we really like here is that this highlights some of those conditional formatting features, very quickly draws your eye and attention to maybe some problem areas in Quantum Systems International. Looks like, okay, we're not performing well, lots in the red over here. Start to take those actions, as well as some other high-level views from a trend perspective. So now I can start to see how a particular firm is, or I should say, portfolio company is performing over time compared to any number of different contextual KPIs here. Over time, this is something that we built in coordination with a CFO at a large, approximately 20 to 30 portfolio company sized private equity firm, really bespoke to what he needed day in and day out, and really alleviated a lot of the manual lift from his team that was required to export all of this data from iLEVEL, to do the crunching in Excel, to subsequently format it for easy consumption, maybe in PowerPoints, by the rest of the firm itself. So not only was this a time saver in the sense that it eliminated manual lift, but it also just meant that anybody in the firm had access to this information at a moment's notice, and really also gave the team what they needed to actually go back and coach and train more effectively with management teams, and even start getting this data updated on a more regular basis. Really fantastic success story, something that we've now done multiple times on top of solutions like iLEVEL. There are other portfolio monitoring solutions in place. Think about a chronograph. Maybe you actually already have a data lake set up that's pulling data in from your ERPs or transactional systems. This is a really nice pack that can actually just accelerate what you're doing today, and really get you to a better spot with your reporting with something that's highly visual, highly interactive, and just very easily distributed across the team.